術式順天青
Hello everyone, my name is Troy and welcome to Maximum Output Training. Welcome to a new pendulum wave, aka around these parts means it's a new training cycle. And for this new training cycle, we are doing high bar squats. Right now, first week is 260 pounds, 260 for sets of doubles. But we're in the experimental stage because with high bar squats, we're doing it with a little twist. We are using, not these sweet looking thighs, heeled shoes, which I haven't used in like 6 years, but I wanted to, they were just sitting around for the longest time, so thought I should throw them back on, see if I like it or not. This is like my third set, so we'll see how it goes throughout the next couple sets, see if I like them or not, but it feels interesting. So just to say the least, we'll hit this set and then I'll kind of explain how it feels different. But for now, let's hit the third set. That felt okay. Definitely something I have to get used to again. With the heeled shoes, if I'm using them correctly, my knees are traveling a little bit more, so I'm getting this weird little, I don't want to say pain, this weird pin in my knee. Probably something I have to get used to while using heeled shoes again. My chest feels like it's a little bit higher. Also, I'm using high bar, so that's pretty much guaranteed, I guess, when you use heeled shoes. Your torso's more upright. And with my knees traveling forward, it feels like I can sink the bar a little bit deeper. I engage my quads a little bit more, and because I sink it a little bit deeper, I feel my glutes engaging just a little bit more than I would using flat-footed shoes. But I'm not going to wash off flat-footed shoes for high bar or squatting in general. Just experimenting, see if I like it, and it was a different change of pace. So it's definitely something I have to get used to again, since I used to actually use heeled shoes a lot for all my squats until I felt like, let's see how flat-footed feels, and switch to flat-footed. And that felt really good for the longest time, but felt like just a change of pace. They've been sitting here for so long, like I said, might as well give them a go. And they're like $120, $150 heeled shoes just sitting there. So might as well put them to use. And it might be fun this time, given I can engage more muscles in a way. We'll see what happens. Let's hit our next set since I'm still resting and I'm still talking to you. So let's do it. Okay, that felt a lot better. It feels like when I use heeled shoes, if I remember from the past, I could plant my feet a little better, maybe because they're a little bit heavier or they're just more flat to the ground and you have full stability within the shoe. But it also feels like my stance, especially for high bar, gets a little bit wider versus when I have flat-footed shoes, they're more narrow. So different stances can mess up your squat depending on how strong you are or how used to the squat you are. But like I said, experimental stage, see if I like it. If I don't, I'll probably just never wear them again or just use them for like barbell accessory movements, such as like on my max effort days, use them for the first squat barbell accessory, like a front squat or high bar, just for more quad activation. But we'll see how that goes. I'm gonna rest for a little bit and I'll catch you guys for the next set. See you then. Final set, conclusion for heeled squats, especially high bar. I have no comment yet. It's only my first day using them and I've only used them for a few sets, so I'm not going to draw to a definite conclusion saying that these are for me or not for me. They feel awkward for sure. I feel a little bit different engagement of certain muscles. I feel like my torso is a little bit higher and I can sink it a little bit deeper, but I'm not liking the weird knee pins and needles while me squatting. Like I said, it kind of drives my knees a little bit more forward, but I do like that I can engage other muscles as well. So I'm going to keep going at it for the next couple weeks at the end of the pendulum wave, see how I like it, especially when it gets to the higher weights. But for now, we're going to stick with it. It's only the first day, first week of using heeled shoes, so I'm not going to say, yes or no right off the bat, but let's finish strong. Last set, 260 pounds for 2. And then we'll move on to some deadlifts. That felt pretty good. Still work at it. Still feels awkward. Still something I have to get used to, but I have to keep in mind that using heeled shoes is a tool in the toolbox for you to use as a lifter if it impedes your mobility. So this increases ankle mobility in a way, but also it takes some getting used to and figuring out how to properly use the shoe to its full advantage. So something to work on. Other than that, squats are done, and I'll see you for sumo deadlifts. Catch you then. All right, squats done. Now we're on to some sumo deadlifts. I should really be practicing my conventional deadlift since I'm in this experimental stage, but I think it's best to do one thing at a time versus doing 3 different things at a time, because I also wanted to do arch bar, middle grip for my dynamic wave for dynamic effort upper. But I think doing one thing at a time so my brain isn't already more mangled, if that makes sense. But regardless, I think something is clicking with my sumo a lot more, especially since I started driving my hips into the bar and forgetting all the other stances and stuff that I've tried to do in the past, because my deadlift is probably the slowest progressor out of the big 3, just because it's always inconsistent. I always change up my stance, always change up my grip, always changing how I breathe and pumping my hips, yes or no. So it has been very inconsistent for the longest time until like last year I said, fuck it. I'm going to try and be more consistent and figure out my own path for sumo again, instead of copying all these elite lifters that have beautiful lifts, but I have to do it for myself and see what works for me and what feels better. So let's get to the first set. 340 pounds for sets of 1, and we're going to do these for like X amount of sets. So I'm going to try and blast through these, but really focusing on form and technique and speed off the floor, but mostly focusing on my form so I can really rip the weight off the floor. That felt okay. Always feels weird with hook grip. The issue with having small hands like myself, hook grip feels like I can't even grip the bar, can't even wrap my fingers around my thumb. Or if I use mixed grip throughout maybe a couple weeks, my calluses start to rip and they start to get into weird places and my hands just start like ripping apart. So if you have small hands like me, no matter what grip you use, you're screwed either way. Or if you do double overhand and use straps, you're screwed as well. All right, that's enough me bitching about having small hands and my issues with deadlift. But I could probably go into a little bit more depth why deadlift is just the way it is. But regardless, I'm gonna rest for a little bit, see you for the next set. All right, I've done a couple sets already, feeling pretty good. Deadlifts are moving and grooving. I am not a stance elitist. I believe in what you think is comfortable, what you're stronger with, and I also believe in the fact they should train both stances, everything, all of it. So one could carry over to the other. So if you pull conventional, normal stance, in a way, you should probably try sumo for maybe a training cycle and see if you like it and see if it translates over to getting stronger your conventional, and then vice versa. Same with squats. If you're a normal high bar, try low bar, experiment. But I believe they should train everything, all stances, all grips, and see whatever you're comfortable with and whatever you're stronger with, but also in the fact of whatever you progress with faster. So keep that in mind when you train different stances, grips, and widths and all that. So let's get to our next set for deadlifts. Oh, okay. That felt okay. I should have really chalked up because my hands are getting sweaty and I almost lost the damn bar, but it's whatever. I'll see you guys for the last set and then we'll move on to our accessories. Oh man, I'm just blazing through these deadlifts, but it feels nice. It's lightish that I can just crank out singles, but I really got to focus on my hook grip. Form and technique is feeling pretty good. Let's do it. Finish strong. Last set. Oh, that felt good. Way to finish strong on deadlifts. Now we move on to our first barbell accessory. I'll catch you for that. Do any of you have those like exercises, those random exercises or accessories that you don't really like to do, but the moment you start to see progress on them, you start to like them a little bit more? That's my conventional stiff leg deadlift. I absolutely hate doing this movement. I think it's just such a dumb movement, but it's so good for deadlifts, conventional deadlifts in general, that you should be doing them. But now that I've seen a lot of progress with them lately, that I can do 2 plates for sets of 10 pretty easily, like I'm about to do here, I just can't wait for the next session I do conventional stiff leg deadlifts. So we're gonna do sets of 10 today, 225, and see how they feel. Then hopefully I can like progress the weight a little bit more. So yeah, I don't know, something about stiff leg deadlifts and seeing the progress on them. I'm just like excited to actually do this exercise now. Woo! That felt pretty good. Definitely going up in weight next week because I don't like to go over 10 reps for stiff leg deadlifts. I just think my back gets super duper fatigued after 10, and I start to get a little wary of my back if I re-injure it or anything like that. So keeping it at 10, 8 to 10 reps is like the sweet spot for me. And then since that moved pretty easily, I'll probably go to 230 next week. So I'll see you guys for the next exercise. Got a couple more sets. See you then. Okay, this is gonna be like the most awkward angle to show this exercise, but I don't think I've shown these on the channel yet. So for the last few weeks or last training cycles, maybe like 2 or 3, I've been doing cable crunches, and it's probably not the best exercise to do with this contraption here. It's kind of like the squat, versatile, removable cable pulley system. So we're just gonna do what we can do. Normally I would do these standing at a high level and use the rope or the V-bar attachment and really engage my core. But I just really wanted to substitute ab rollouts with the wheel just for change of pace. So sets of 15 with 60 reps, really trying to emphasize really controlling the eccentric. And it's really vital in here so the system does not swing back and forth and I smash myself in the face. So being in control of the weight is very good in general, but here it's vital or else it just gets a little wonky. So let's do it. Sets 15 at 60 pounds. 13, 14. Oh, those felt pretty good, to be honest. I've been using like light weights just to kind of feel it out, but I guess the heavier I go with cable crunches, it feels a lot better on my abs. But I'm just always worried a bit about the weight swinging, so I always have to be in control. But 60 pounds feels pretty light still, especially for sets of 15. I'll probably up the reps next week and then slowly progress that way. But for now, I'm going to do a couple more sets and I'll see you for my next exercise. Okay, finished off my split squats. Didn't really show that. I just thought it would be more time efficient if I showed something else. So for this video, we're going to finish off with some hamstring extensions. And for the last little bit, I've been using one 25-pound plate and carrying it up here. But I felt that was a little too easy. So right now, we're going to double the weight, use dumbbells. And instead of keeping it at my chest, we're going to kind of focus more in front like a stiff leg deadlift. But the only thing is my feet are more in front. The bar is keeping me in place and the range of motion is going to be a little bit shorter. So if it looks funky on that end, it's because the weight is distributed a little bit differently throughout my body. So we're going to go for sets of 10, 2 25-pound dumbbells. Let's do it. Okay, stand up nice and tall. I'm gonna try and keep my chest up, push my hips back, and go as far as I can go. Like, yeah, that feels weird. 3, 10. Okay, that felt weird. It'll take some getting used to. It also felt a little bit easier versus having a weight here, probably because I'm so used to this movement of the weight being at my hands and my arms being fully extended. Something to definitely work on. I can feel my low back start to round a lot more, but I feel the nice stretch in the hamstrings. So let's see how I progress. I'll keep the weight here, up the weights for next week. But for now, that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys next week for another training vlog. Probably be a juicy max effort day. If you guys are interested in some online coaching, there's an application link in the description below. Until then, have a great day. See you next week. Peace.